Hi guys, it's your girl Mathilda. Obviously, before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the little bell icon to get future notifications whenever I upload. So now when that's out of the way, I can get into the video. In this video, I'm going to talk about how it is living as a transgender woman, like overall, but also living as a transgender woman here in Sweden. If you're new here, my name is Mathilda. I'm transgender. I started my transitioning 7 years ago and I got my SRS around 5-6 years ago. So I've lived as Mathilda for a while and I've noticed a few things, how it is living as a woman in society, but also how it is living as a transgender woman. This video is going to be a video where I will touch on a few topics that I haven't discussed on my channel yet, but I'm also going to touch a few topics that I've already discussed on my YouTube channel. So this is going to be an overall video how it is living as a transgender woman. So if you're transgender, you need to go through a process here in Sweden where doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists all verify that you are transgender. After that process, you can start going on hormones, and after 1 year on hormones, you will get an SRS, a bottom surgery, if you want to. It's all up to you. You don't need to get a SRS if you don't want to. So just because you're transgender doesn't mean you need to, do the bottom surgery. However, I did. I wanted a bottom surgery and I got one. In Sweden, the process takes a few years. However, it's really worth it just because you get everything for free and such. When I was younger, I didn't really know what was wrong with me. I felt an intense jealousy towards all the other girls in my class. This was when I was like 5 years old, I think. 5-6 years old. Right after I started going to school. I felt this. It was such an intense jealousy of how the other girls acted, how they talked, how they could dress. I didn't know why I felt those feelings. I didn't know why I wanted to be one of them so badly. When I was 10 years old, I was unhappy. I was not happy with how I looked, with how with the person I was. I was not happy with the body I had. And like for a 10-year-old, that's kind of, difficult to understand. It's kind of hard for you to really wrap your head around those feelings. What's gender? What's a girl? What's a boy? Like those topics are really hard even to describe if you're grown up. Like what does it mean to be a girl? What does it mean to be a boy? And yeah, I struggled very much with those kind of feelings. It got to a point where I forced myself to be happy. I forced myself to think I was happy living as a boy. It got to a point where every time I watched a specific commercial about a man, it was a vitamin commercial. In this commercial, you follow this man, this grown man. He had a wife and kids and a dog. I remember this commercial because this commercial was a lot to me. He woke up, he said hi to his kids, and he was just like overall very happy because he had these vitamins. But for a 10-year-old, I thought that if he could be happy as a man, I could be happy as a man. I could be him. So every time this commercial got on the TV, I imagined I was him. I forced myself to believe that that future was something that I could be happy about, because every time I looked myself in the mirror and every time I thought about my future, I wanted nothing else to just escape. I wanted nothing else to not have that future. So every time I saw that commercial, I forced myself to believe that I could be happy as a man. However, as the year went by, the feelings of not being true to myself intensified. I got more and more unhappy as the time went by. However, I didn't really understand what those kind of feelings were yet because I had never ever seen a transgender person. This was maybe like 12-13 years ago, and being transgender was not, openly talked about as it is today. I didn't know what transgender meant. However, when I was 15 years old, I watched this show about being transgender, and it was just like I woke up that was me. I was transgender, and all the feelings I've ever had in my life were kind of explained by that, that TV show, that documentary. I started my transitioning very soon after that. During the whole process, I felt scared, nervous, happy, like a lot of different emotions, because that was something I truly wanted. You know, the longer I was on hormones, the happier I got. And when I got my breast augmentation, I was even happier. And when I got my, bottom surgery, I was the happiest I've ever been. Even though people can't see and directly know my past, my background, I don't think that I will ever shake the feeling of not being normal. This is kind of hard to talk about. I'm not gonna lie, because every time I make trans videos here on YouTube, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy. Everything is perfect, and it is. I am happy. However, all people are all people are sometimes unhappy. I'm so incredibly happy that I made this transition, and I'm so incredibly happy that I get to live as me, but I don't think I will ever shake the feeling of being different. I will always have to, tell that I'm transgender. I'm not saying that if you're transgender, you need to tell everyone you meet. However, hypothetically, if I will meet a new person that will be my friend, or hypothetically, if I will, get a new partner, I will have to tell them at some point. And that telling a person can sometimes make me feel like I'm different from other people, from other girls. And I feel that sometimes cis girls are better than me. And this is just my personal experience. I'm talking from me. I'm talking from my experiences. I don't want you to be offended. I'm not saying that cis girls are better than trans girls. We're all girls. Like, we're all one big family of girl power. These are my darkest thoughts. I can sometimes beat myself up for not having periods. And please don't comment like, you should be happy that you don't have periods. Periods are so annoying. Like, I wish so badly that I could feel that. I wish that I could have kids, biological children. I wish that. Sometimes I wish so badly that I could be born as the way I was supposed to be born. And sometimes that really beats me up. Like, sometimes I beat myself up so bad. Some days are worse than others. Sometimes my gender dysphoria is acting up so badly that every time I walk past the mirror, I see a man. Sometimes I want to change my entire appearance because I think I look too manly. And it's not that people, comment on my videos saying that I look like a man. That bothers me because it doesn't. As I said, like, some days are worse than others. Some days are a struggle. Sometimes, yeah. I'm not going to, go too deep into that. However, I'm also very happy that I'm transgender. I have experience that not everyone has. I can see differences of both genders since I lived as a boy and I lived as a girl. I grew up very quickly. I had to. I started thinking about things like gender and gender roles very early on. So I'm happy that I am transgender because it made me the person I am today. And I don't know if I would have met the same people or if I would even be with Christian. Maybe if I would be born as a girl, I would be a completely different person and I wouldn't be on the same spot as I were the same day I met Christian. Maybe I wouldn't have the same friends. Like, I don't know who I would be. So I'm happy that I am the one I am. Living as a transgender woman doesn't necessarily mean that all people around you are mean to you. Obviously, I get hate. I don't know if you read the comments on my videos, but there are plenty of people leaving hate comments and being really mean. However, for the most part, I just delete them and move on with my life. But that's a part of being transgender, and I'm not trying to scare you if you are transgender and going through a transitioning, because I'm happy. I'm really happy. I wouldn't trade this life for any other life in the world, and I'm completely honest. I'm just like this kind of like my diary. I'm talking to you, telling you my darkest thoughts. Like, Yeah, so living as a transgender woman have made me the person I am. I have become strong from all the hate I've received throughout my years. I've become very strong and self-dependent. I also wanna highlight that most people are really kind and most people are not transphobic. However, as human beings, we're kind of used to highlighting the bad stuff, highlighting the negative. Being transgender doesn't mean that you get hate on a daily basis. It doesn't. Being transgender doesn't mean that you go through life being hated. Living as a transgender woman here in Sweden isn't that difficult. Sweden is a country where we're very open with the whole LGBTQ plus community. Most of the Swedes are very open-minded and kind. But yeah, if I have forgotten something that I wanted to talk about, because I didn't have a script for this video, I thought that I would talk from my heart and see where it went. I don't know if I forgot something. If I did, I will, make another video about that. But yeah, I truly hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.